I'm approaching 50. I work in the role of office admin. And the reality is, within a very short space of time, my job is about to stop being a job. I'm not being replaced by someone younger. I'm being replaced by software. Hello, everyone. My name is Leslie. I'm here to discuss a topic that hits very close to home, not just for myself, but I think for a significant percentage of the population. So bear with me. This is kind of a serious and rather terrifying discussion. Bear with me. I brought notes. It's important to me to present a balanced discussion on this topic because it is so serious and it's very hard-hitting and impactful for a lot of us. I want to make sure I get it right and that I touch on everything I want to share today. So as an office admin, I went to college and incurred a student loan to receive a certificate to work in my field. I handle all things office, calendars, emails, invoice. I address, handle, and work with the public, so customer service. My job is to read the room, to fix problems before they occur oftentimes, or to put out fires when they happen in the office, so to speak. So my job will be replaced by AI. The company I work for has not been secretive about that. The computers have been purchased. The changing of programs that we work with at the office has already taken place. My workload has already significantly decreased as the software takes over more and more of the daily duties that I perform. In my opinion, the changes that this makes takes the humanity out of my role. There are a lot of times that people come in and they need assistance and they don't have all of the information needed. And that's when my problem-solving skills kick in and I'm able to figure out ways to take care of this so that everyone can have the service that they require in the timeline that they require it. I'm concerned about software taking my role because it's kind of a black or white system, right? Like either you have the data the system requires or it hits a hard wall and it's not able to help you, or you then are redirected to a phone number to call someone and wait on hold to finish, signing up or getting the service that you need. So I'm concerned about what this looks like, not just for me, but for the customer experience end of this. The talking points that the company I work for uses is that it's streamlining, it's continuity of information, that it's, for everyone's convenience, you can go anywhere you want in the province and your information is readily accessible. The challenge is that the software is not without its faults. When it works, it's okay. When it doesn't, it's a calamity. It's there's a lot of confusion and a lot of extra time taken and a lot of frustration, both on the office workers who will be still left behind and on the customer end of it, the customer client end of it. It's just, we've already become so reliant on software that, when it goes down, heaven forbid, and it does, or the internet goes down and we can't access it, or the applications, it's pretty catastrophic for everyone involved. Let me be clear, that this isn't just happening to my role at work. There are other people in other similar roles that is happening to. The company has not been quiet about the fact that they are actually using the employees they currently have, as we are there, to train the AI programs that will replace us. And that's a really strange feeling, to be training your replacement. You know, I work full time. I'm one of the few blessed to have a pension. What happens with that pension when I'm no longer needed? I'm well short of retirement age. So there's a lot of concern. And, you know, what does someone my age do when they have to re-enter the workforce? And not only that, but I live very rural where I live. So part of the reason I went back to college and gained my certificate in office admin was so that I could be employed closer to home at an income that was worth having, without having to commute all the way to the nearest city, which is a significant and expensive commute, to be honest, especially the way gas prices are these days and prices to repair your vehicle. So what does that look like for me? And I would be lying if I said that it doesn't occur to me. It's not on my mind every day. It's not on my mind all day, every day at work. You know, am I going to be there for 3 months? Am I going to be there for a year? What does this look like a year from now? What am I going to do when this comes to an end? The company I work with has a bit of a track record for giving no warning. They just show up one day and you're out of a job. So there is that kind of, if I'm being honest, it's a terror. Like, when is that day coming, and am I going to be ready for that moment? It's wild to me that, you know, having a job that isn't labeled highly technical, you know, I don't have a blue collar trade. I don't work with my hands. And because of those two details, I am able to be replaced by software. Because, you know, my role costs the company salary and benefits. And because I collect a salary and I have benefits, I'm suddenly finding myself to be expendable. You know, how much is a future company, you know, when I think about going forward, what am I going to do when the inevitable takes place? How do I answer job ads that want AI savvy type admins or for entry level pay? And what happens when I show up at that interview and they see the silver hair on my head? Does that put me to the back of the pack? Am I about to have to start over? Another aspect of this situation that I think many of us find ourselves in is, you know, what happens when you lose that position and you're concerned that you don't have a replacement? What happens when you lose your routine and your purpose? And what happens when that happens kind of overnight, if you will? You know, how do I tell friends and family, you know, this job that I saw myself being at until I retired, I chose to retire with a pension. I'll be straight. My plan was to work to 67 and then retire and do some traveling. There's no way that'll happen now. Like, I'll be lucky to finish out 2026. I'm afraid at my age to apply for other positions and go up against, you know, a younger workforce that a corporation could see themselves growing with over a longer span of time. I think the unspoken truth is that a lot of people see seniors or people with silver and white hair as maybe being technologically challenged, even though that's often not the case. We're we're pretty we're pretty capable, most of us, and we are capable of learning. But I don't know how many of us will get that opportunity over a fresh young person that has just graduated university. The sadness that creeps in kind of in those quiet moments at night at the thought that this role that I went to college for, that I'm likely to lose in the near future, it's my passion. I love working with people. I love helping people, and I love solving problems. I love being the office problem solver. So the reality that that's not going to be my life much longer it's like a loss. I feel like I'm already starting to grieve it, even though it hasn't fully happened yet. It hasn't officially happened yet. But, I look around at my coworkers who I'm close to, and they're wonderful. And I think to myself, good grief, these people may not be much of a part of my life much longer. And how sad that is. So I've never been one to sit idle and just complain and, kind of run headfirst into a brick wall. I've been thinking about what I'm going to do. What's my fallback plan? I considered going back to college and incurring yet another student loan despite my age and my ability to repay it. I need to work. I need to work until I'm at least 65 in order to be financially secure through retirement. So I've considered going back to college and adding some specialties to my field. The crazy thing about that is that before I even looked seriously at the funding for college for that, an announcement came through that they're actually training AI models to replace those workers in that position currently. So that went out the window kind of quickly, and I'm grateful that I found that out before I incurred another student loan and started college again. But yeah, that left me feeling a little bit lost and trapped yet again, like that was going to be my fallback. So my alternative is what you're looking at now. I've wanted to start a YouTube channel for 5 years. I've kind of rested on my laurels about it because I felt like, well, the day job is always king. You need to have the day job and everything else is a side hustle or gravy. I'm getting serious about my YouTube channel now because I see it as something I can build and bring along and invest myself and treat like a job, so that I'll have that supportive income. When the inevitable happens with my day job. So here you'll see I've started not one but 2 channels. I'm a very hard worker and I take pride in applying myself. And that's what you're seeing now. So YouTube has become my fallback plan. Truthfully, I can't afford to go back to college, and anything I would do would not be a trade. I work with my hands. So I think anything I would look at as an alternative would likely be replaced by software in the near future as well. So yeah, it's hard to keep hope. It's hard to not feel stuck, but that's the angle I've personally decided to take after it with. So I guess I'm just left with a few lingering questions, things I've yet to figure out, like if experience doesn't protect you, what does? And what happens to people like me while companies figure out the software and the AI thing? This I don't know. I'm afraid for the younger generation because not everyone can work with their hands or do things that aren't replaceable by software. And all of these young people, so much of the work that we do when we're younger is character building. It teaches us a lot of the foundations of good work ethic and good customer service and how to deal with people, good, bad, and difficult and indifferent. So I have a lot of questions. I have a lot of questions and concerns, not just for the 40 and up generation, who really I feel are so significantly threatened, but I think even the young people 20s and up are threatened. They're also incurring student loans to develop careers that should in any other time make a good living, but now for how long? Who knows, right? So I'm just putting it out there. I hope that this resonates with some of you. Drop a comment below if you have any angles or thoughts that you would like to share with this conversation. And if you like the unfiltered conversation and you want to come along with the ride with me as we navigate this channel will go undoubtedly through that adjustment, and I'm hoping the channel will have grown. But we'll navigate this together. So drop a subscribe or a like, and we'll see where this crazy ride takes us. Thank you so much for watching.